And welcome back to Sunrise. Thank you so very much. Good morning to Divine Ray and good morning to Odette and the entire YouTube team. Now it's time for another segment of Law and Order JA. Joining us to sound off this morning on the issue at hand is attorney at law and my one-time tutor who caused me to get an A in his course, I must say, attorney at law Malike Kellier, and also a Shevening scholar, darling. So we're in good company this morning to ventilate the issue. And the question sent in today reads as follows. Mrs. Kitty, can employees be dismissed or deprived of their pay because of jury duty? Do you get paid for jury duty in Jamaica? Mr. Kelly, good morning, sir.
Good morning, and how are you?
I'm magnificent. Thank you so much for asking. And you?
I am well.
Very well. So talk to us, Malik. Jury duty, something that a lot of Jamaicans don't like.
Yes.
They shy away from it. And, you know, some people go and do it. But the question this morning, can we be deprived from our pay? Should the bosses allow employees to go and fulfill their jury duty?
Most certainly. So jury duty, as you have indicated, is a civic responsibility for all Jamaicans. And I encourage anyone who is summoned for jury duty to attend upon same. Just like how we pay our taxes, just like how we have passport and birth paper, a responsibility of being a citizen is serving on a jury.
Yes.
Now, that question is a regular question that comes, or concern that comes from our citizens about whether they will be penalized for jury duty. And the legislation or jury act says that is not the case. When you are summoned for jury duty, you should tell your employer promptly and share the summons with them, or even if you don't have the summons, but you go to court, get a letter from the relevant court's office to share with them, because many employers and employees get into this tussle about they're losing days.
Yes.
And that is not the case. They're not taking leave because it's a civic responsibility. Employers are entitled to pay their staff. They are entitled to give them the relevant time off.
Yes.
And most certainly, if an employee finds themselves in a challenging situation, they have the relevant recourse that they can take through the Industrial Disputes Tribunal or through the courts, where they can be compensated or reinstated in their work in the event that they are dismissed.
Wow. So let me ask this question. Is there a particular timeline? So, for example, okay, so you have been summoned for jury duty.
Yes.
We're going to give you 5 days off. But what if it's a case where the trial is going on for a month, or it doesn't matter how long
Yes.
they're supposed to be allowed to do the jury duty?
That is so. But again, we have the relevant contingencies in place throughout our courthouses, where they can provide letters to the relevant member of the public who is serving as a juror to share with the employee, because you don't want to also be in a situation where someone is saying they have jury duty and they really don't have jury duty. So there are ways to verify that a case continues in that instance.
Who are persons that may be summoned for jury duty?
So persons, according to our legislation, any Jamaican between the ages of 18 to 69, there are some groups that are exempted from jury duty: attorneys, judges who are currently serving, and their spouses, and or any Commonwealth citizen who is residing in Jamaica. You don't have a criminal conviction, you don't have a case yourself, a criminal case rather, before the court, and they use the TRN list or the voters list or the electoral registration list.
Okay.
And so it can be any section of the list that is sent out at any given time to the different parishes for service as a juror.
Very well. What about persons who may have health issues? Because oftentimes persons are summoned for jury duty, but they will identify the fact that they may be diabetic or they have some ailment which you know, prevents them from serving. Is this something that they can submit, or is it that once your name comes up for jury duty, you have to go?
Excellent question. So the judge in their discretion has that opportunity to review or assess whatever condition or excuse a juror may bring in because they're having a challenge serving. Some of the excuses or some of the medical challenges aren't those that will affect them sitting and listening. And so the judge may say, I don't think this is one of the cases that you will have a challenge sitting on, but there are others where they're more dire. And of course, the judges will take it into consideration and excuse the person. So it's a case-by-case basis.
So it is a judge to whom the person would say
yes, or write the excuse, or maybe share the medical certificate to indicate that they have a challenge and they will not be able to serve, or they do not think they're able to serve. But when the judge usually explains to them, is a situation where sitting for too long makes you uncomfortable, or whatever the ailment is, if it's connected to what their primary role is in court, then the judge may excuse the person.
What about persons who run and hide, or they just don't turn up for jury duty?
Excellent
Can
question.
they be penalized for same?
They can. So once you are summoned, and as I said to you, the summons comes through the police going to serve the summons that would have come from using the electoral list or the TRN list, or sometimes summons come in the post. If the person receives the summons and there's a proof that the person has been summoned, if your name is now called in court and you do not show up, you can be fined. or given community service. Usually I think the fine is in the range of $10,000 or community service. If you don't serve the community service, there's also another penalty as well.
Oh.
So because it's a civic responsibility, we encourage persons to come out. And what's so very interesting, Mrs. Kitty, is that when persons serve on the jury, they want to come back.
Yes.
They find the process so interesting being a part of the criminal justice system in our country.
Right.
Because not just about the lawyers, you know, we who go to court and use the legal language, but it's about the average Jamaican citizen participating in a process that determines the guilt or innocence of someone.
Yes.
And many persons don't know as well that there are actually 3 types of jury matters. You have criminal matters, you have coroner's inquest to determine the cause of death of someone, and they're also in very limited cases, but you also have the opportunity in certain civil cases, specifically defamation matters.
Oh, very well. Wow, that's interesting.
Yes.
And that defamation issue is very at large and very topical here in the space. So do jurors get paid in Jamaica?
Good question. So jurors do not get paid, even though it is your civic responsibility and it's a service you're giving back to your country. They are given a stipend. Recently, the Honourable Minister of Justice, the Honourable Delroy Chuck King's Counsel, in his parliamentary submissions about May of this year, made reference in his debate that they're actually increasing the stipend because we understand as well persons are taking time off of their schedules to come and complete this civic responsibility. So what used to happen, or the current dispensation, is persons who are only serving on a specific panel as a juror would have been remunerated or given a stipend to cover, you know, the basic travel expenses.
Yes.
But now he has raised in his debate, and I think the process is in tow for persons, once who are called to serve, to be given a stipend, because you still have to find the money to come to court. Whichever hill or bush or valley or plain you live in, you have to find it to come to court. So the persons who are called, as well as the persons who are served. And he made reference to that in his debate earlier this year.
And the stipend is how much now?
So the stipend that he raised is $2,000 once you are impaneled, serving on a panel.
Yes.
Right, and so he's now said in his sectoral debate that it will be $2,000 for persons who are called to serve and $6,000 for persons who serve on a jury panel. So there's that little giving back as well to you for your time and your efforts in serving our country.
I like that. Well, you're always giving back, and I know in terms of JAMBAR, the Jamaican Bar Association, you will be giving back to some stalwarts of the legal profession. Talk to us about your event coming up.
Most certainly. So the Jamaican Bar Association will host its annual Bar Awards or Bar Luncheon this Sunday, December 15th at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel at 2 p.m. And we're seeking to honor this year 3 legal giants or stalwarts, as you have indicated. We all know Professor Stephen Bastiani, my apologies, was Ambassador of the United States before, and also a principal of the Norman Manley Law School, and he's currently a professor of international law at the Faculty of Law at the University of the West Indies.
Yes, he was my PIL teacher. Yes, PIL 1 and 2.
There's also Miss Carol Aina, the Rose Amongst the Thorns, coverability, our principal at the Norman Manley Law School, and also the Honourable Mr. Justice Patrick Brooks, former president, who now retired of the Court of Appeal. And this year as well, we've added a special award section to the program where we'll be honouring practitioners in Jamaica who have practiced law for 50 years.
Wow.
The golden practitioners, we'd like to call them. So the class of 1974.
Wow.
Those practitioners, 1974 to 2024 is 50 years, Ms. Kitty.
Wow. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Wow.
One day that'll be us.
And there are people who have been serving. And why is this important to the public, Malike, for us to be celebrating our legal stalwarts?
It's most important for the public at large to appreciate the service that one gives to their country in this way, but most certainly the different persons, each of these 3 main honorees, as well as the 50th celebrants, would have assisted with whatever issues or concerns they would have had, and also helped with the development of our own country's jurisprudence. Many of these practitioners as well would have worked with varying companies, assisted varying persons, and so we want to make the invitation extended to not just lawyers or legal fraternity, but anyone who these awardees or most deserving awardees have interacted with, that they can come and also celebrate this worthwhile achievement.
Wonderful. And where can we get tickets to buy?
Thank you so much for that question. So you can go to our website, jambar.org, that's www.jambar.org, or you may visit the bar office at 72 Harbour Street, that's downtown Kingston, and you can get your tickets there for this Sunday. And we want everyone to come out and support our practitioners.
Lovely. I love it. We're celebrating our attorneys, our stalwarts, and you don't just need a lawyer when bad things happen. You know what I mean? We also need lawyers when good things are happening. So I love that, and I think the 3 recipients are most deserving, and of course the 50
Celebrants.
The 50 amazing. 50 years is no easy feat. But to you and your team, thank you so much. And thank you for being here and talking about such a very important topic, because I know a lot of people fear jury duty. I'm going to want to do it, and I'm going to hide, and I'm going to run up and down. But actually, as you said, it's a civic responsibility that we all have, and we should take pride in serving and doing same. Thank you so very much. Our wonderful guest this morning, yes, my past, administrative law?
Yes, ma'am.
He's absolutely amazing, ladies and gentlemen. Such a wonderful human being, bright like a morning star, and always, always so wonderful to have him here. Our guest, Malike Kellier, attorney at law. And of course, he's inviting you to stop by the JAMBAR Annual Awards Banquet this Sunday, December 15, at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. We take another break, but there's more to come right after this on Sunrise.